Once again, welcome everyone to lap 9, June 2nd. It's crazy how quickly time is ticking off. Starting almost on the dot. I can't tell. My phone says it's 5:01. My laptop says it's 4:59. I don't know what's going on. Welcome everyone. Motivation Theory Run Club, lap 9. We are ticking them off. Perfect. Thank you. So Frank wants to know, did you give up on the endas? I have not given up on the endas. They're sitting back there on the shelf somewhere right down there. What I've been trying to do is get the mileage on the shoes that I'm reviewing next. So I'd have to check Strava on what the numbers are for the endas. It's probably not a ton. Gonna make this like a podcast and listen when I'm running. That's awesome, Don. You can do that. Welcome to the stream, David, Frank, Don, anyone else out there that I might have missed that I can't see. So the story with the endas is I'm actually going to be using them, but the problem is I don't run 100 miles a week, so I have to kind of choose my mileage of where I'm going to put it. So I've been trying to put mileage on the Brooks Adrenaline 20. The GTS 20 and the Mizuno Wave Horizon 4. Those are the two shoes I've been concentrating the most on to get them to 50 so that I could do a proper review of them and a comparison. So I've done kind of an initial review on the 20, the Brooks Adrenaline. I didn't do an initial, I don't think, on the Horizon 4, just strapped for time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a review for each and then do a comparison. I think it's a very interesting comparison. The shoes both have really, really good qualities, and I want to give it away, but the background music is still playing. There is some background music. I do play a little bit of background music. It was a little loud. I just turned it down a little bit. There's always a little bit of background music in the background. So basically, yeah, I'm just trying to get to the point where I get all of the shoes to 50 miles. Because I know some people get all persnickety that you're not putting 50 miles on shoes before you do a review. I typically can tell within a couple runs whether or not a shoe is going to work for me or not. And it's a personal thing. It's definitely a personal thing. But I want to give these two a fair. I love both the shoes, and I want them to be fair. So Frank says, let me go through, make sure. David was just telling me they can hear. David said, can't hear you. Thank you, Frank. I hear music, no voice. Perfect. Hello, there you are. Frank said you were at 60 on Horizon 4 and 30 on the Adrenalines. Yeah. And 14 on the Endas. So I'm pretty close. I will knock out the 20s, the Brooks Adrenaline this week. And then I will shoot that video. I've written a lot of the review for the Horizon because I do like the tech part, and then I really want to do a breakdown for people who are into stability shoes. In my opinion, these are two of the best, if not the best, stability shoes on the market. So I want to give them a fair shake. I love both the shoes. I mean, it's close. It's very close. So how's everyone doing? World is kind of in turmoil right now, so been a stressful last couple days, just with everything going on. I had a fantastic run yesterday. I took my son to a baseball practice, and it was the first time in probably a month that I felt like I could kind of run freely. For those of you who've been following, I've been struggling with my left foot, and it's not to the point where I shouldn't be running. It's just been a nagging thing. I really think I'm just having almost kind of plantar fasciitis type feeling on the lateral part of my foot from that little bone that protrudes out of your foot back into the heel. So I've been doing a lot of stretching and just trying to work on it. And yesterday I could kind of run, and it was the first time that I could really get up on my forefoot. So if you guys know, if you have to change your gait and your foot strike, it's really annoying. I've been running, and if you watch the video today, if you haven't watched the video I released today, please make sure after this, please go watch it. And please make sure you hit that thumbs up while you're in here. I haven't been able to run normally. I've been having a heel strike, and I've been putting a ton of pressure on my right side because I've been compensating for my left foot not being able to land on it, and I haven't been able to push off. So you can imagine running and not being able to toe off and go through the toe off cycle of your foot. Like, you can't. It's just weird. I've been having a little bit of hip issue because I have to go basically to midfoot and pull my leg up before it gets to the toe, because that's where the pain was coming from. So it was just kind of radiating around the foot. And yesterday, for some reason, was good to go. Not 100%. I still get some residual pain, but it was good. It was good. It was. I did a hill work. I did 3 miles, and then there was this half-mile kind of gradual hill. And I'd run down it pretty hard, and then I would run up it. And it was the first, I didn't have to walk at all, other than when I had to go to my car and like get water and stuff. I'd walk around and turn around and run back up the hill. But I would run all the way up the hill and was just cranking it out. Hey, Mickey, welcome to the stream. Am I missing anybody? So it was great. Really happy with that workout. Frank said, I was camping and then came back to the world being on fire. Yeah, I was wondering what happened to you. I didn't see you cranking out ridiculous mileage last week. I was wondering what happened. I thought maybe you decided to take some rest. Well-deserved rest, because you've been a beast cranking out mileage. Hey, Mickey. Welcome. Hello. So if I go to... Let me see what I got here. I go to my... Where is this thing? Sorry, I'm trying to look up the Strava site. So it says, so for February, I had 19 hours. March, I had 22 hours. April, I had 22 hours. May, I had 30 hours. And I, of course, have 1 hour for this week so far. So I'm looking to maybe get to about 35 to 40 hours in June. I don't know what you guys think. I think I can get there. Recycle on Wednesday, welcome to the stream. Nice, I'm glad you had a good run. That kind of change pushes pressure all up the chain. Hip, knee, back issues can happen. Glad you're doing better. Yeah, it was it's difficult. I didn't like, I mean, I would give posts on it, but it was really getting to the point where it was kind of getting me down, because I can't ever really turn up. I couldn't put my foot down on the gas, which is kind of disheartening, because, you know, I know that I should be doing a lot of easy miles, but every once in a while I like to crank it up a little bit. And you guys have seen over the past maybe week or so, I've been doing a little bit more speed work on the treadmill, which helps me a little bit because it takes away a little bit of the pounding on my foot. So that's good. So I've been enjoying that. But yeah, definitely, Frank, it's been, and I've been looking at my data on the watch, and like the imbalance is getting, I think I've talked about, it's been like 3 or 4% sometimes, and it's getting a little bit more even now. And yesterday felt so awesome to be able to get up on my 4 feet a little bit. It's been so long since I've done that. It's weird to talk about, but it's been probably a month and a half since I've really been able to kind of get up on my forefoot. I mean, I was taking it easy. I didn't want to be like injure myself the first day. I felt good, but it felt good. It did. So, in all transparency, when it hit about 4:20 today, my wife comes into the room. I've just been super busy with work and just stuff at home that I've been having to deal with. I've been dealing with the deck and building things on the deck, and it just, I mean, my days have been packed, and work has been crazy. And I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm going through, working on YouTube stuff, and she's like, hey, just so you know, the basement, the fire alarm is beeping, like a battery's dead. And I'm like, okay, like it happens. And she's like, well, I'm just letting you know. So when you go down there, you're gonna hit the beep. And I'm like, well, why am I gonna go down there? I think thinking maybe she's thinking I'm running, and I'm like, I'm not running right now. I'm probably run later tonight. And she's like, no, when you stream. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot that we were streaming tonight. And I don't even understand how that happened. I've been so busy for the last several days, and I've always told you guys that I want to, like, the night after the stream, I want to do the thumbnail and send out the post for the next one so that everyone can set reminders, because I know people are busy. So I had to rush down here, get set up, go put the battery in the thing, and I came over here and it was still beeping. I'm like, what is going on? So I walked over there again, and I had put the battery in backwards. It's been a couple days, guys and gals. It's been a couple days. It's been a day. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, so the purpose of this was basically I didn't have a really hard set topic. I'm going to come in and talk, but who was it who just commented? Was it Joe? I think Joe said in the comments, call Joe out here. Let me just get to this. Everything's lagging. Of course it is. We're getting there. Anyway, so I believe it was Joe Kern had said that his race, his 100-miler he's been training for, was canceled. And it was extremely disheartening. Like, he said, hey, I need motivation. And I've been thinking a lot about that over the last couple of days because, just with everything going on, I mean, we literally just got off the COVID thing. Yeah, it was Joe. Let me read his thing real quick. So Joe said, hi, hello, John. I need some motivation. I ran 214 miles in May, which was my personal best, training for my first 100-miler. Well, the September race got canceled, so I opted for October, and it was sold out. Getting a little discouraged. I've never worked so hard for a race that may not happen. Grr. And I responded, I said, dang, Joe, that's a tough one to swallow. You are better and stronger than you were before. We all have had this happen. Spend a day or two feeling upset, and then set a new goal. Start working towards it. Maybe do your own 100. There are tons of virtual ones out there with buckles and everything. Deep breath, move on to the next thing. I know we've been kind of all dealing with our personal part of this. It is difficult because obviously races are such a large part of the running experience. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that they just run because they run. They don't really care too much about the races. I know people personally that they just run every day. They don't care. They just run their like 2 or 3 miles, and they don't care about doing races. They may do a little fun run every once in a while here if a local school does it. But for those of us who are putting in significant investment of time and money, and it's a large part of why we do what we do, it's difficult to find that motivation. And I know we talked a little bit about this. Absolutely. Frank says, when races happen, most people are going to be in better shape than before, or worse. It's going to be easier or harder to be in the top 20. So my personal feeling on this, that's redundant. My feeling on this is like what Frank's saying. You're going to be in one camp. You're either going to get demotivated, and that's the approach you're going to take. You're just going to get not motivated about doing anything, and you're going to kind of slide off and lose fitness and then have to gain it back. Or take the approach that I'm taking in the positive mindset of, okay, this is the hand we're dealing with right now. Right now, we're dealing with races being canceled. We know it's going to happen. So how can I mentally consume this and turn it into something that's positive? Well, to me, I've mostly written off the Marine Corps Marathon and the JFK 50. In my mind, I've accepted that it's a large percentage, it's probably not going to happen. I just think it's not going to happen. I don't know why. I just do. If it does, then I'm going to be excited. But I've really focused my training for next year and building my mileage up this year the right way. I was probably going to be pushing my mileage too quickly this year. Coming back, this being my comeback year, and pushing things a little too quickly to get to where I want to go. It's given me a little bit more time instead of maybe pushing to 40 to 60 miles a week, this month. And the next month, like maybe now I can just, crank out some 30-mile weeks for a while, 30 to 40, and just do that for a while and build my fitness. So, and do it the right way. I'm not getting injured. So I'm excited about it. So I'm taking the approach that I'll be in better shape. And I know that that's me. It's my year to come back. I know some of you all have been training literally since last year to this year for the races. The 24-hour race I was going to run in April, I was going to be undertrained for. I was doing couch to ultra marathon, and that was just a way of kind of branding that. I was going to be severely undertrained for that. Like, I don't think anyone should think that a couch to ultra is like, you're going to be like from completely out of shape to really good shape, and it's going to be painless and you're going to be good to go. And I was going to be in pain. I was going to suffer. I knew that was going to happen. So now I could take my time a little bit more. And maybe, Frank, maybe some other people will fall out of the top, and that would kind of help people move up in their age brackets a little bit. I hope that doesn't happen. That's kind of a terrible thing to hope happens, is that other people fall out so you can get bumped up. So what is your approach to this? Are you guys just kind of saying whatever for the rest of the year? You're not really worried about it, or are you still holding out for hope's sake that your races are going to get here? Or are you taking that mental approach where it's kind of like, well, I hope it happens, but if it doesn't, whatever. We've been going through this now, since March, April, May to June. So, roughly 2.5, 3 months of having to kind of consume this. I'm hopeful because I see sports coming back. I mean, baseball practices happening, and there's kind of this level of anxiety with all of this. Like, my son's starting to play baseball again, and, they're trying to have to do all kinds of silly stuff, like spread them up into dugouts, and they have to, only 3 or 4 can be in a dugout, and the rest have to spread out on both sides. No high-fiving, no touching, no sharing equipment. The umpire has to wear a mask because he's over top of the catcher. Like, there's so many different changes and considerations that you have to take into account. We just don't know if the races are going to be able to take all of those things into account. And if they do, Frank, there might be the people that hold out and not go, and then we can increase. It might be easier to get to the top 20. This might be the year. Is whenever everyone else is scared to go. I don't know. So did you take a break this week, Frank? I didn't check the mileage out there. Hopefully we're not frozen up. I see a frozen screen. That could just be my computer. So I'm looking out on Strava. Let me see what we got here. Sorry, I'm going through my menu here, guys and gals. You didn't run Wednesday to Sunday. That's probably a good break for you, man. You put a ton of mileage in. You got to get tired occasionally. All that secret racing. So this is kind of my mileage. I'm in the way here. But if you're looking at this has been my year so far, which is kind of crazy. So in January, I actually had a lot more mileage this month. I'd ran it several times. I don't know, probably a handful of times that on my old watch, and the stuff was not syncing. That's why I went to the new watch. So I've actually ran more than this. Probably would say maybe 20 to 25 miles more. That's 5 hours, but there's some more runs in here. 19 hours in February, 22 in March, 22 in April, 30 in May. Again, I'd like to try to hit 35 to 40 hours in June. And I really don't know. I mean, I want to shoot for some 70-mile weeks through here just to do it. Especially if, the marathons and things don't happen, I'm going to have to try to set up some virtual stuff for me to do, because I'd like to be able to kind of take advantage of some of that fitness. But, we start looking at this calendar here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more months of the year going into next year's races. Right now I have 99 hours so far this year, and 499 miles, 499.3 on 93 activities. So I'm happy with where I am right now. It's, I've had to just kind of understand that's where I am. Good steady build up. Yeah, that's what I'm shooting for. I just, the race being canceled in April probably was the best thing for me. I know that I ran the 50K, but I took it super easy in that 50K. I mean, I ran a 7.5 hour 50K on a treadmill. I don't think you can take it a whole lot easier than that. And I did that purposefully to show people that you can do it. You just slow down. You can do it under trained and get it done. It's not rocket science. I just got a text from my son. A tick was on his neck. Awesome. So I'm going to deal with that. Crying out loud. If it's not one thing, it's another. So I'm going to gradually build that up. It's just what I'm trying to deal with is like, how am I going to deal with kind of the October, November part of this year? That's going to be the thing I don't understand that I need to deal with. I don't know. If races don't happen, what do you do? Because you got to capitalize somewhat on the fitness, or you can just continue to go steady. Because you can't maintain that high mileage just nonstop for no reason. So, anyways. Tariq, welcome. Welcome to the stream. He said, Tariq said, I'm going to go back to low mileage because motivation gone. Signed up for a 14 miler, but just training for what was low mileage, getting tired faster. Used to be able to run 6+ miles on trails. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people kind of just taking the approach of just dialing back their mileage to just kind of maintain. And I think that's a good approach. Yeah, it's good to look at kind of where you are and how you deal with it. So like if you're getting not motivated about it, I mean, it's kind of hard to keep pushing like you're on a training program to nothing, because that keeps ramping up. Welcome to the stream again, John. How are you? So I think maybe dialing things back to just maintaining is good. Maybe start mixing in a lot of cross training, hill repeats, just like biking. I think there's other things you can kind of do to keep your fitness up. Recycling on Wednesdays. Hello. Oh, you're saying hello to that, John. Okay. So it's like I said hello. You already said hello, Minnie, I think. So it's difficult. And you said that's just me. Tariq said that's just me looking at this crazy writing theories is changing my attitude. Like, is it changing your attitude for running, or like making you want to run or not run? Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's only affecting my stress levels with the stuff that's going on. I just want us to get back to civility and talking again. And it's, I don't want to go down that lane of all this, but that's, to me, I think talking things out and coming together as a community, all of us as humans, is really the best approach to anything. Educating people, and just talking. I look at my 20 closest friends, and I always think like they're very diverse, and we don't have any issues. We all want the same things. We want life. We want freedom. We want protection of our loved ones and ourselves, and just a little bit, not even prosperity. I mean, just enough to keep our families happy and keep us happy. And I think that's all anybody ever really wants. So I mean, I have families. We all live in the same neighborhood here. We're all diverse, different backgrounds, and I see how we all live. We all live exactly the same. We're all out looking for each other's looking out for each other's kids, and we're friends. I mean, I don't get it. I just don't. So that's all I have to say about that. I just want everyone to be safe and happy and respected, and that's all I'm going to say on that. Trick said, "Oh, good idea." Yeah, I think maintaining would be the best thing. Welcome to the stream, Rowan. All my Rowan said, David Rowan. Sorry, I was calling you Rowan, Mr. Rowan. All my runs have been canceled this year, so I'm using this year as a training year. Yeah, so I think that's probably the good approach. I mean, you just say, look, I'm marking up 2020 as a training year. I'm going to work on all of the things that I need to work on, and that's what I'm doing. I'm basically writing this year off as a training year. I'm going to come back a stronger runner than I've ever been. Like, that's my mindset. I'm going to be a stronger runner in 2021 because of the work I'm putting in 2020. Like, that's not a question. I'm going to be stronger than I ever, not just recently, ever. Like, I'm going to be able to work on strength training and cross training and all of the different things that I have never done in the past, because I'm always constantly concentrating on just getting ready for a race, and it just nonstop. Like, I'm going to be doing everything I can to just be, as strong of a runner as I've ever been. So I think I think that's what we can do. I think it's a good approach. I really do. Trig said, just all these crazy theories about players behind the scenes. Yes, open. Love the peaceful protest. Just stressing, I think. Yeah, I completely agree. I think I don't even say sides. I don't want to say there's sides, because I don't think there's sides. Or in the States, we're Americans, and it doesn't matter what color we are. We're all on the same side. I think there's people that are in power that are playing people against each other for their own gain. So, yes. But so for this week I'm hoping to hit 40 miles this week. That's where I ran on Monday. I usually take off 1 to 2 days, sometimes 3 if I just can't handle. It's not the running. It's usually work life running balance that kind of gets, I don't say gets in the way, but that's what I have to contend with. Like, I need to make sure that I'm fair and equitable with allowing my wife to have freedom away from the kids to do the things she enjoys. So I'm always constantly trying to balance that as best I can. Trying to take care of the lists, like work on the deck. I've been working on this deck for years. It's a huge deck, and I've had to build up railings and steps and replace all the boards, and I'm building a bunch of stuff on it so that we could have a nice area to hang out. We have a patio poured. There's just all kinds of stuff that I'm having to take care of. And it's not just running, it's the running channel. So, you got to think, if I go run for 2 hours, it's not just that. Like, I'm working every day on the channel, and that is basically a job to me. So that takes up a ton of time. So running, it's almost all together. Running and the YouTube channel for me is just like one thing. It's like a business, essentially. To me, it takes up everything. It takes up all my time, which is good. It's something I love. I love making content and hanging out with you all, and you guys getting to consume it. It's a great thing. It's something I enjoy a lot. And we're still staring at my stupid calendar. So let's go back so you can look at my dumb face. Different camera. So what looks good? What looks better? Frank said, more decks built this year than any time in history. That is true. You can always tell what's going on. So all of the gas grills were purchased. We bought a gas grill, like not a gas grill for grilling, but like a fireplace gas grill, so that we could like do marshmallows and s'mores and kind of sit around. But like all the decking stuff is sold out everywhere. Like everything you can think of has been sold out. Dave Rowan said, I appreciate the work you do on the channel. I appreciate that. Like it, if you haven't run a channel, you don't know what it's like, and maybe it just seems easy from the other side. And again, we choose to do this, and no one's forcing me to, so I'm not looking for sympathy at all. It's something I love to do. But, like doing the shoe reviews and studying and phone's ringing, just making sure that I have my content strategy laid out and planned out, and all that entails, that's the difficult part. And running, and then tracking it, and then making sure I respond to all the comments and give kudos on Strava and YouTube, answering the questions and responding to all the comments, and editing and just doing all that stuff. While it's a lot of fun, it takes up a ton of time. So it's appreciated that you all enjoy it. I really do. I do appreciate you guys. I say that a lot, but whatever. Oh, this is a question I had. So this is I have an external camera hooked to the laptop. Let me know which one looks better. So this is the webcam I have plugged in. I've been playing with some different cameras. It's an HD cam. I have my phone, which I was going to use, but I can't use my phone for this, which can actually shoot in 4K. It's not necessary to stream in 4K. But this is that camera. This is the web camera that's attached. And this is the laptop camera. So let me show you that one. This is the laptop camera. So let me know which one looks better. So I think the webcam looks better. I don't know. This is the laptop cam that you're looking at right now, and then the webcam. Webcam. All right. Let me get back to things. Again, thank you, David, for the appreciation. Recycle on Wednesday says bikes too. More biking. I see tons of people biking. Tons and tons. I see more people walking than ever before. There are tons and tons and tons and tons of people walking everywhere. Frank said the bike thing makes me think a lot of people are doing more exercises than usual. Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people are taking up bikes. Those are the people that say my knees are too bad. Does anybody else get this? Like when someone says, I can't run, my knees are too bad. Does anyone else kind of get like, I want to argue with people every time. And I don't know everybody's personal history of why, but you know, I know the reason I think this is when I gained weight and got heavier, my knees bothered me too. When I was running, whenever I tried to run, it didn't feel great because you're carrying around a bunch of weight. And then when I lose weight and I'm fit, my knees don't bother me at all. So I always tell people, like, you know, I don't think you should not run at all. You should take it easy. You know, what the problem is now you're 280 pounds and you're trying to run like you did when you were 16. Of course your knees are going to hurt. You know, you need to walk off the weight, lose weight, and then get into it. I don't know. That's just me. Postner 2, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Thank you again for your comments on the channel. Love seeing them. My eye catches right onto that I'm gonna say emoji, the icon you have as your picture. Posner 2 said, I have been using hiking up the hills on trails near me to cross train with my running. Will probably add a weight vest once a week to get some strength added in. Trails are nice. A nice escape, mental break. Absolutely they are. I'm going to be shooting a video very soon on trail running and the benefits. I think I've recently done one. My mind is shot today. But I have an idea of that I want to do for a video. I want to shoot for that. But absolutely trails are so therapeutic to me. But the problem is this time of year in Virginia, it's tick season and snake season, and that's the worst for me. So I usually end up avoiding the trails when it starts getting like dead summer. I usually stick to like the fire roads and stuff like that, not the single track trail, just to avoid all of the nonsense. David Rowan said webcam looks better to me. Everyone's saying webcam. I like the angle on the top laptop better, but the webcam has a better color. See, it looks like there's a lot more saturation, a lot more color sharpness on the angle. Yeah, I have the angle. The camera's up a little higher. I actually have the webcam clipped to my studio camera. All of that behind. Yeah. So I like, yeah, if I can change the angle, I think I'll probably switch to this just to make it look a little bit better. But it does look good. I'm looking at what you guys are seeing right now, and that's a nice, rich picture. But if I go to this one, that's a better angle than the other, but it looks a little more washed out. So does anybody And that's one of the things I want to talk about. So does anybody still have races pending that they have not been canceled? I know last week or last Friday we talked about Boston. Welcome to the stream, Marlene. Good to see you. We talked about Boston being canceled, and kind of my idea. Like I was thinking that's going to kind of kill all the big races. But like, does anybody still have races out there that are still pending? I know Arlene would probably say JFK 50. Arlene, I noticed I didn't sign up for JFK 50. I thought I had already done it. I had not. And then I went and filled it out, and then I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to fill it out, because they had posted a bunch of stuff all over the site basically saying there are no refunds, there are no rolling over to the next year. And I'm assuming that's all the language that they have for people who get injured or change their mind or something like that, or have something come up, they're telling you like, hey, you're not gonna be able to transfer. And they have this like insurance company to protect your race buy-in. Like, that kind of turned me off when I started reading all that. I'm like, you know what? I sent a message on Facebook trying to ask, like, you know, what are they doing with COVID? Are they just going to wait and cancel and take your $260? Like, I'd like a better, with that amount of investment, I would like a better answer than just like, hey, there's an insurance company. You go read their fine print. Their fine print does not cover that stuff. So I don't know. I'd like to know. I'd like to see more an official thing. Maybe Arlene, maybe you know, but I have not seen anything that makes me comfortable paying $260, $267 after everything's said and done right now, not knowing that the race is going to go down and they're just going to take the money. If there was an option, they say, hey, look, if we cancel, we're going to roll that money over to next year. But that's just way too much money just to throw down the drain. So Arlene said, good afternoon. The webcam looks better to me. Yeah, I'll switch to the webcam again. Yeah, so I don't know. Frank said, I didn't really have anything planned until winter marathons. Yeah, I think, you know what I think is, and kind of my plan is for the fall and winter, I think there are enough local races, marathons and things like that you can run that are a lot lower cost that you can jump in last minute. That's what I'm kind of I'm banking on the local races and being able to take advantage of those when everything opens up. Like, so if everything gets canceled, I can go, okay, if I can pay, you know, $80 or $100 and hop in a race it's near here to kind of get it done, I'm going to do that. Don said 5K done on 28 minutes. 28 minutes. Very good, Don. Were you running that? You running outside and listening to this? I'm liking the footage now, Don, with the I think you said you got the GoPro Hero 8. That's what I got up on the shelf. It's a great camera. I love it. I don't use it to its fullest. It's a great camera for sound. Like if you're a vlogger or a person who does running content or anything like that, it's a great camera. Does anybody else have... Okay, so, hey, what's up, Joshua? Sorry, didn't mean to skip over you. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you again. Joshua said Nashville Marathon was originally postponed from the April date, postponed to November. I'm hoping it stays. I do too. Again, I think it's going to depend on the size with those. Frank said the El Paso Marathon is in January. Well, that could possibly go down. I think once a couple marathons happen and nothing bad happens, I think people probably feel a lot better and start doing them. I just wonder how many people are not going to go, even if they have them. Like, how many people are paranoid enough to where they're like, I'm not going to go. Because I think runners are hardcore, and I think a lot of them will do it, but I still see a lot of runners doing some goofy stuff out there. Running with masks on when they're completely by themselves and stuff like that. To me, that's goofy. I mean, it's different if you're in a city, but I'm out in areas I run. There's nothing you're not being exposed to anything. There's no one around you. So, like, if you look at Kafusi running in the city, I can understand that because you're only seeing parts where he's not running by anyone. But, you know, maybe he's required to. I don't know. Arlene M says, I still have a race in July. The minors lady, that's right, 8 hour. The race director is waiting until the beginning of July to say yes or no. Joshua Payne said, there's a small town close to here that is having a July 4th 5K. They put out that they have pre-approved it from the county that it will happen no matter what. That's awesome. And maybe, you know what? I haven't ran a 5K in a long time, or 10K, but you know what? Those might be the races that I have to start consuming. I mean, they're smaller typically, and it might be maybe it's easier to put on, and you know, I'm fine with that. Been working on my speed a little bit too. By the time my body's been so used to carrying around my big giant frame, when I lose this weight, I'm like, be running like 5-minute miles, Frank. 5 minutes. Watch out. Isn't wearing one in IO. You know, I didn't notice. I've watched a couple of videos and I didn't even pay attention. Well, that's good. That's good he's not wearing one out there. It's probably, you know how awesome that probably feels for him to not have to wear that mask when he's running. The other day I was in Lowe's. And it was humid. They have all the doors open, you know, for air circulation. And I'm like picking out wood and stuff. And like I had the mask on. And I'm just telling my wife, I was like, I can't stand. Like I just felt like I was like suffocating. It was really annoying. I couldn't imagine running on one. What's up, Bert? Welcome to the stream. Bert says, talking about Kafusi, did internet break down in Iowa tonight? Oh, did his stream not go through? I try to catch his stream, and if you guys missed it, those of you who just joined me, I was sitting on the couch and was working on YouTube stuff, and my wife came in and started talking about the fire alarm going off, and I completely slept and forgot. I didn't sleep. I slept on remembering the stream. So. Oh, he said his live stream. Didn't he say, he said he was not going to be putting out a live stream? And maybe that was yesterday, or was that today? He said he wasn't going to be doing a live stream because he had to drive somewhere. He had to go do something. Or was that yesterday? I think either yesterday he said it wasn't happening, or it was going to be today's. He does 2 every day. I mean, he does one on Instagram in the morning and one on YouTube at 4. And I usually watch the 4 o'clock one. And there's several of you that do also. Bert said, I can't wear anything before my mouth, not even in winter. The only time I can put something on is like if I'm hunting or something, I have a thing that goes over, but still I can't. I don't like the hot breath. If I have to, I think I've run when it was maybe like -10 or something like that. I wore something over my face. But it's not enjoyable. Joshua Payne said he isn't posting a video or doing a stream today due to the... Oh, okay. Frank said, I have heard contradictory things about the blackout thing. Yeah, I don't know what all that is. Yeah, so I think running in a mask is tough. I've seen a lot of people run with the high altitude training masks. I guess if you're really trying to train for going up into the mountains and the altitude, maybe it's a good thing. But like when I'm not training for it, like I don't want to deal with the suffocation feeling. Not at all. Has anyone ever wore one of those? Yeah, Josh said it's weird for sure, trying to stay out of it, honestly. Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm actually happy for him to be able to get out in kind of the nature a little bit and get out of the city and run. I could imagine running in a city every day. I don't know any of you who run in areas that are where you have so many streets to have to worry about crossing with lights and stuff like that. Like I can't even imagine having to deal with lights and crossing and stuff like that. It just seems like he probably doesn't get a lot to do to run freely without having to deal with all that. I know he runs early in the morning, but you got to watch out. You don't want to have a car come and hit you because you think it's too early and there's no cars out. Joshua Payne said, buffs are great and useful in the winter. Temps are 90 here, so no way I'm wearing anything in front of my mouth. Yeah, it is true. So in the winter, while as suffocating as it feels, you still have some cold air, so it's not too bad. But like the temperature, I wear sunglasses pretty much until like the sun goes down. So everything gets all fogged up, and I don't like running without sunglasses on. I don't know what it is. I have to have sunglasses on. I think it's a trail thing, running on trails with branches and stuff like that. I'm just used to wearing glasses all the time, so I don't have anything hit you in the eye. And the sun bothering my eyes. Frank said, nope, the guys at 8,000 feet sometimes come down to us at 4,500 and get speed work in. Seems like a sleeping tent. Makes more sense. Is that one of is that one of those high altitude training tents? I think was Ellie Beast, the guy who does all the eating and stuff like that. So I used to go to Playlist Lives and stuff like that in the previous version of the channel doing family vlogging. We would go to all the Playlist Live and met Ellie Beast several times. And I remember he was getting into walking, and he was going to do this thing where he was going to walk across the United States. So he was walking just like 80 miles a week. Crazy. He was just walking all day. And he was sleeping in a high altitude tent or something like that. Is that what you're talking about? The guys that run at 8,000 feet come down to you guys at 4,500. That just makes, I don't know why that makes me laugh. Dalen, hopefully I'm saying your name. Is that Dalen? Dalen asks, what are your quick thoughts on strides? I went on a run yesterday and I feel like striding more would increase my speed a lot. Absolutely. I think they do. I think that's the purpose of them. I like doing them downhill. Like yesterday, I was picking up speed quite a bit going downhill just to help get my mind. So one of the things with me with training for ultras, I think it made me slower because I was so used to shortening my stride and it not being really quick with my stride. So like yesterday, I was really trying to turn over quite a bit. And speed up down the hill just to get my mind and my body again used to my hips. I think it's a lot of my hips has got tight and wouldn't open up as much. And so I agree. Yeah, I think would help. Anytime you can try to run faster and try to increase your foot speed and your turnover, it's gonna help you. I like doing it down, not like straight downhill, not super steep. Like yesterday. I think over the half mile, that hill probably only had maybe 60 something feet of gain. So it was a long, steady hill, but running down it was enough to make you feel a lot quicker going down it. Frank said, yeah, the low oxygen tents. I think that would be easier. I think getting acclimated. So like when I think about training for like Western States 100, welcome to the stream, Tasmania Running. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Hello. I think like that's the stuff that's what I worry about. Someone who runs in Virginia, I don't know, where am I at, like 300 feet or 800 maybe. If I go to a mountain here, I can get to 4,000. I don't know how I would fare. Like I don't know what the average person who goes and runs a race like that deals with those mountains. Like in all these bigger races, like if you're not used to going up to 10,000 or 14,000 feet at all, like how's it going to affect you? I mean, Frank, it sounds like you're at like 4,500. You're like already just training at what like the highest point in Virginia is. So I don't even know how that would work. Like, are people doing that? Or are they just taking trips up places? I mean, I know some people go out to like the Western states and they camp at altitude to try to get ready for those, but like those are people that pretty much are professional runners and can spend their time doing that. Those of us mere mortals who have jobs and things like that can't just go for weeks and pre-camp for races, especially if you're not placing in any of the money. Recycling on Wednesday said, I saw someone running with one of the altitude masks before I knew anything about running. It looked like he was dying. Yeah, I saw one before. Somebody was running, and I remember one time I was running on track, and there's this guy, this huge guy, And I think he was training to go overseas or something like that. He had this vest, huge vest on with all this weight, and he had two looked like 50-pound dumbbells in each hand, and he was just like running. He was like running, and this is a funny story. So I was on the side of the track, so I saw him going around, and I don't think he saw me because I was running on the roads, and I came over to the track, and I was working on kind of the side. They had some things where you could do dips and stuff, and I had my shirt off, and I had my heart rate monitor on, and I have kind of a broad back. I'm a hairy guy. Broad back, and he saw me doing these dips, and I turn around as he gets to me, and he goes, "Oh my gosh, thank God." He goes, "I thought you were he thought I had a sports bra on and that my hair my back was hairy. And he thought I was he said, "You're the hairiest woman I've ever seen." I thought that was the funniest thing. At least I cracked myself up. I thought it was pretty funny, but I thought it was interesting. He's running he must have been running with like 150 pounds on his body. He wasn't running, but he was like stepping. I'm like, I'm not sure what that's going to do. I guess he maybe didn't have a rucksack big enough to hold all that weight, so he was kind of modifying his training. John said, "I am enjoying running slow to try and increase my distance so that one day I can enter and compete in an ultra. That's why I watch John's channel." Well, welcome. Absolutely. Running slow is good. You run slow to run fast, and slowly increase your distance. That way you stay healthy. And I think we all got to buy this year. We can all train freely without the stress of having a race maybe pop up. So yeah, absolutely. I think that's probably the focus of my channel, is to kind of beginner runners, and then kind of people transitioning to ultras. And I think we have a good audience across the entire spectrum, from beginners to veteran runners. And I think that's awesome, because I think the veterans can help the new people and answer questions. And I think it's just a great way. It's a great community. So it's awesome to have all of you. So welcome, John. I do appreciate, and I'm glad you found it. Things are working on YouTube. You found the right place. Bert said, "The hills around my house go from 40 meters above sea level to a max 110. Yeah, you sound like right around kind of what I am. Dalen said, "Thanks. A friend in college told me when running downhill just to let your body run naturally and not try to slow yourself down. It was sweet. Also, my name is pronounced Dalen." I don't know if that helped me. Dale, because it still is an A, like Dalen. That's what I said, right? Or Dale, oh, Dalen. Okay, gotcha. I would have said D-O, Dalen. No worries though. Yeah, so running downhill, depending on how steep it is, you want to let gravity help you. You definitely want to make sure you stay under control and just let gravity help you. But there's some hills that I run down that I actually have to hit the brakes on a little bit, or else I'll just end up in a heaping pile of cut up man just bleeding on the side of the road. I've had it happen before. It's not fun when you lose control. I just wish I had video of me. That would be funny. Frank said, "Anybody have anything planned for Global Running Day tomorrow?" Oh, it's a good question. It's just a regular old Wednesday. I don't know if I got anything super planned for it. I probably should plan some content for it, but I have not. Maybe I can pull something out. Maybe. Posner 2 said, "When I used to live in Texas at 3,500 feet in peak running shape, went to visit California at sea level, and I was able to destroy my PR by nearly 2 minutes." I haven't been able to experience this. The only thing I have experienced has been running at my level, and then running an ultra over 2 mountains that were peaking at above 4 twice. And maybe I noticed it. The switchbacks killed me. Like, I was so beat up I didn't even notice the difference of the the altitude. Welcome, Mike Z. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Arlene M said, "I know a guy who lives in Florida who has done Hard Rock 14 times. He always goes out to Colorado 3 to 4 weeks before the race." What does he do? Is he a doctor, Arlene? How does he afford to go to Colorado 3 to 4 weeks? That's crazy. I would love to do that. Colorado is awesome. Bert said, trying my first 50K by the end of July to celebrate 1 year of more serious running. Did 3 marathons in the past 9 months. What should I add to my training? Just miles? Personally, if you've done 3 marathons in the last 9 months, you're good to go. I mean, I would end of July, so I mean maybe add a couple back-to-backs of back-to-back long runs. And I don't know what your plan has been, but that would be the only thing I would do over the next couple of weeks, add in some back-to-back long runs. But I think if you've been running that much, you're good to go. But yeah, back-to-back long runs I think are the key. It's just getting your time on your feet. So you probably have the fitness, because it's not too many more miles, but 5 more miles. It's a back-to-back, just getting some longer, slower miles, getting time on your feet. That's about all. But I think you're probably good to go. Just get some more time on your feet. Bert said, add to my training. I gotcha. Recycle on Wednesday said, Frank, are you doing anything for it? Did I miss something? I don't know. I missed something. David Rowan said, Bert, do back-to-back long runs at the weekend. Yeah, I don't know if you want to do too many more. I think if you're going in July, maybe add in maybe 2 to 3. It's just more about getting some time on your feet. So I looked back a couple years ago. I was doing 10 to 14 on a Saturday, and then 20 to 25 on a Sunday. And I think I did it 3 times over a training period. It wasn't every weekend. Something like that. I can't remember. But it was right around there. It was just long, slow miles. Nothing, not pushing it, just getting time on your feet. Arlene M. said he's a Galloway coach, Chris Twiggs. His wife is a doctor. Oh, that's even better. That's amazing. I'm glad he gets to do that. That's awesome. Bert said, did that Sunday and Monday, 32K and 22K. Okay. Yeah, Bert, it sounds like you're good to go. I think just kind of maintain what you're doing, and you'll go out and crank it out. I think you could probably dig out 5 more miles. Dolan said, thanks for the advice, John. I haven't lost control while running downhill and gotten an injury before, so I'll keep what you said in mind. Yeah, I understand. I think Dallin. There we go. That helps me. There you go. Dallin. There we go. Yeah, I think the only reason I fell is because I stepped in gravel. Gravel's slippery. And a lot of the steeper downhills I run in trails have a lot of gravel on them. They're like fire roads. And you get too far extended and that heel goes out and the rocks go. Good times. You'll stop eventually. Tasmania running. Note to self, ask wife to become a doctor. Absolutely. I'm going to do the same thing. And then I'll be a full-time YouTuber and professional, non-elite professional runner. That's what I will be. That's a good one. I love it. Recycle on Wednesdays. Yes, absolutely. I have to bring her on and ask her. Bert says, sounds like a good idea. Thanks. Absolutely. Bert said, I did my 3rd marathon in 3:43. Any advice for the time of my 50K I should aim for? Well, you're moving pretty good. I don't think it would be a ton more. I think your pace is probably good. You're probably going to slow down maybe 30 seconds, 40 seconds, minute. I don't know. Mine were never equivalent. So when I've run ultras, they've been on trails, and I've only ever run marathons on roads, so they're not really equivalent pace-wise. It's kind of hard to maintain the pace because you're dealing with a lot of climbing and stuff like that. You're not getting on the roads, and trails are typically going to be slower. So I don't know. So I think there might be some write-ups out there that might be able to help you with that, but I would purposely try to take it easier in the front. So just like a marathon, you start off slow and then go slower. is about all you can do. Is you want to leave enough in the gas tank where you can still finish strong. Or, if you're running a 343 and you're pretty fit, you can just go for it and dig out an extra 5 miles. I mean, only you know how much you had still in the tank. But trails are going to be different. I mean, I don't know if you're doing a trail ultramarathon. It'll be a little bit different. You'll be dealing with things you're not used to dealing with on the road. Hey, Thomas, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Thomas said, hey, all, currently doing the GVRAT and did over GVRAT and did over 200 miles last month, which for me is a lot, and 6,735th place out of 19,000. So excited, but thanks for all the advice on taking it slow. It's been helpful. Absolutely. That's a lot of miles for the month. I'm hoping to get there soon too, to get to hit 200 miles. I hit I think I hit 154 in May, which I was happy with. Not pushing too hard, but I'm hoping to get myself back up there safely. Thomas Top said, planning on finishing the race with a 50K, my first. 50K is a good distance. I had run a 50 miler. Well, I lied. I ran 2 50Ks on a treadmill, so they were not official before my first 50 miler. They're a good distance. I think it's a good confidence builder to run a 50K. I don't know why, it just really is. Mike Z asks, question about heat running. Here in Wyoming, I went from the 60s and today 97. That feels like it's been like in Virginia. I didn't run today. The reason I had zero acclimation for it. I did get this idea from too many triathlon videos. No, acclimation is a real thing. I think I did videos years ago on heat acclimation and heart rate training. It is a real thing. I mean, it could be dangerous. So, typically on like military bases and schools and things like that will have black flag, and it's there for a reason. It's because if you have not spent enough time in it, it could be dangerous for you, especially if you try to push as hard. So what I do is I typically will run slower, less, either shorter distances, or I run slower for several runs over a week just to try to get acclimated to it, and then start to push a little bit more and more. You don't want to play around with that stuff just because it can be dangerous. But it's smart. It's smart to take it easy, especially if you're not acclimated to the weather. Absolutely. Frank said, Bert, this is an actual race. Mike Z said, on the flip side, I get to join on live. Absolutely. Bert said, no, doing it myself. Solo 50K. Thomas Top said, great virtual run across Tennessee. Yeah, that's awesome. Tennessee's pretty wide. Did you do the short version or the long version? Frank said, secret race Kafusi and try to beat his time. That's right. Absolutely. Everybody's secret race Kafusi. Dallin said, glad that it was helpful. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I had a solid bike accident when I was on a mission trip a few years ago. The gravel was rough. I got road rash and needed healing. I still have a scar. Yeah, I broke my ankle stepping on the edge of a road, running full sprint, stepped off the edge of the road and landed in gravel and just rolled. Broke my ankle, tore my calf muscle, and just cut myself up all over the place. Bert said, Frank, good idea, but Co is much better than me. Yeah, he's pretty fast. Frank said it was 9-minute miles. That is doable. Yeah, if you're running a 343, I think you can absolutely run sub 9-minute miles. You could, if you really wanted to push. I think if you had somebody to run with, I think you could do it. I think Frank is right. Bert said, 1 year ago, I was still 101 kilograms. Now came down to 79. If the knee holds, I will try to beat Co. I don't know what that is in pounds. You have to let me know. But it sounds good because that's that's 21 less, so that's got to be good. Even in pounds, that's awesome. Mike Z said, much appreciated. Absolutely. Arlene M said, my last event this year before COVID was the Kennedy 50 miler in February. It's a walk, but you can run all or part of it. Would be a good ultra for beginners. Absolutely. Absolutely. I try to explain that to people. Like, you can go 50 miles. You can. It's not easy, but you can do it. Thomas Top said, 1,000K long enough. I'm sure that it is. I'm absolutely sure that's long enough. Well, everyone, we have reached, we're just past 6 o'clock. Remember to hit the like button. If you're in here right now, please make sure you hit that like button. I haven't said it in a while. That helps boost the video and all the metrics and stuff like that. If you aren't subscribed, please consider doing so. I hope everyone stays safe and has a good week of running. I still have to run tonight. Got to go have supper here soon. Got to go upstairs to Mama and the baby and the kids. Go figure out what's going on with my son with the tick on his neck. I'm sure everybody's freaking out. But thank you all for joining me here. This was a great talk. I feel a lot better. I was kind of pent up and tense and stressed out when I kind of came into this, and this kind of helped a lot. I really do appreciate all of you. I released a video today. It was my week 21 update. I know I released like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. I don't know what's going on in my brain, but week 21 is now here. See you Friday. Yeah, so Friday is the next. Again, we do Tuesdays at 5 p.m. and Friday at 5 p.m. We're going to do one on Friday. I'm going to do it tonight. Absolutely going to set the thumbnail and send out the reminder tonight so all of you can get it, and then click the reminder button. When you get the notification, you can click the set reminder and it will let you know. Because again, if you're subscribed, you have to go to the bell and click the bell and click all notifications, or YouTube will not let you know when I release videos. It'll only let you know what it thinks you want to know. So if you want to receive all of my notifications for live broadcasts and when I release a new video, you got this on this video right now. Just go down to the bell, click all notifications. That will help. 20% reduction, absolutely impressive. Very impressive. Absolutely. Thanks, everyone. Dallin said, thank you. Love your consistency and creativity. Watch some of your videos on motivational theory back in the day. I think I found you from Nick Nimmin. Keep the great work. Yeah, Nick is a great guy, and I've learned quite a bit from him. I do a lot of the motivational content too, and just running took me back in again. I appreciate all of you. Stay safe. Thank you, Thomas, Bert, Dallin, Arlene, David, Mike, Prosser 2, West Virginia Don. I'm like trying to scroll with my mouse when I'm looking at this. Thomas, am I missing anybody? They need to fix this thing. So Tasmania Running. And who else? Who else we got here? Mike Z. If I forgot anybody, I am so sorry. But they don't have my list where I can see it. Recycling on Wednesday. There we go. Thanks for the live stream. Thank you all. It's always awesome. If you're not joined on Strava, please go find a Motivation Theory Run Club on Strava. Click the thumbs up on this, and I will see you guys Friday. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go upstairs and I'm gonna set the thumbnail and set a topic. So if you think of a cool topic, you guys are awesome, way smarter than I am. Send me comment on any video. Send me an email at Motivation Theory John and at gmail.com, and I'll add it to the list of topics we should talk about. Thank you all. Stay safe, and I will see you Friday. As soon as I find the thanks for watching. Here we go. There you go. Figure out what's up for dinner, everyone. Go sit on my couch. I still have to run, though. I got to get mentally ready to run. Be safe. Thank you all. Thanks, everyone. See if it'll let me see the list of people here. Participants. Oh, here we go. I can see list. Arlene, M, Bert, Dallin, David, Frank, Mike, Posner, Cycle on Wednesday, Tasmania Running, Thomas Top, West Virginia Running Don. Thank you all. You rock, and I will see you Friday.